Well, were you involved in the River Run riot?
Well, no, I was on high intensity probation at the time,
Okay.
and they wouldn't give me a travel pass. But I know all the players, and I was involved with David Chesnoff, the attorney that pretty much led the charge with the defense team.
Okay, so let's talk about the River Run riot. April 27th, 2002 in Laughlin, Nevada. During
I
the
think it
Laughlin
actually was the
River Run.
26th.
Was it 26th?
Well, it's my birthday, so I remember
Okay.
it well.
Right around that time, 2002. So the Mongols and the Hells Angels were both there. Now, was there some sort of friction because the Mongols were the only biker gang that were allowed to wear the California on their patches?
That had all been resolved. The Hells Angels weren't happy, but it was a situation that they'd been living in since or living with since 1977. It's now 2002. The Hells Angels and the Mongols have a amnesty on the violence, if you will. They don't have a complete truce, and I'm going to take credit. I was responsible for nurturing that. Had an amnesty with the outlaws that kind of unraveled. Same thing with the Banditos and the Mongols. The river run comes up. Traditionally, the Mongols go to Harris.
Mm-hmm.
The Hells Angels go to the Flamingo. But there's a holdout. There's 6 Hells Angels from San Francisco that have been staying since the beginning of the river run at Harris. And they have an arrangement with the Mongols that they will continue to stay there because they like it. So a police officer sees that there's 100 Mongols in the casino floor, and there's 6 Hells Angels kind of walking in and out, 4 Hells Angels, 5 Hells Angels. This somehow goes out over the radio traffic. Police officer, whether intentionally, by design, or just by coincidence, goes down to the Flamingo. He pulls up out front. There's a bunch of Hells Angels out there drinking, and he asks, is there anybody in leadership position here? One of the guys from the Bay Area walks up, who later got indicted, and the cop tells him, you've got 6 Hells Angels surrounded by 100 Mongols down there. So the Hells Angels jump on their bikes, about 30 of them. They go down to Harris, and the rest is history, as they say. Ray walks in there, kind of leads the charge. Ray's a Hells Angel from Sonoma. He's leading the charge. He walks in there, has words with one of the Mongols, kicks him in the chest, and no pun intended, but he kicks off the conflict again. And next thing you know, there's fighting. You can see Calvin, Hells Angel from Arizona, on the casino floor, methodically firing his weapon. Have you seen the videos of it?
Oh, yeah.
That's Calvin, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the witnesses said it looked like Vikings on a battlefield.
And it probably did, and it probably felt like it. And, you get the aroma of the rounds going off. It wasn't just Calvin firing rounds, but, he was on camera doing it. There was other people shooting guns. 3 people wound up dead, 2 Hells Angels and a Mongol. And, Roger Penny, the leader, was stabbed severely several times, spent about 6 days in the hospital. I don't know, there's like 6 hours of tapes available.
Yeah.
And I've watched them all. David Chesnoff provided me with those. And, at the end of the battle, Roger Penny, they actually put him in a chair with wheels on it. They wheel him out to a cab, and they take him to the hospital. He almost didn't survive.
I went through the details. Hells Angel Cal Schaefer, he was swinging around a ball-peen hammer at 2 Mongols, and then he pulled out a gun and started firing. He shot a Mongol, Richard Nolan. After he, emptied a round, he started to reload. Someone else got shot. Hells Angel Rodney Cox had a crescent wrench. was trying to help
From-
one of his friends, and then a couple Mongols came over and he put the crescent wrench in someone's head.
Right in the
then
back
went
of
back,
their head.
Yeah, and then went back to helping his friend. So the leader of the Mongols, Ahara's
Roger Penny, former Green Beret,
was surrounded by two Hell's Angels who forced him to his knees, while Hell's Angel Henry Leadham punched him in the face. The other Hell's Angel, James
I think
Hannigan,
what's more appropriate to say is he was knocked to his knees. I don't think they forced him to his knees. I saw the video. They beat him up.
Because the other Hell's Angel, James Hannigan, grabbed him by his hair and then stabbed him twice in the chest.
Right. I mean, what's your point? I mean, we know.
No, it's a whole mess. Everyone's getting stabbed. Look, they said.
Look, I'm not trying to be cavalier.
Right. No,
I'm trying to be honest with you.
Every door in the place had blood trails.
I'm not surprised.
It was a complete bloodbath.
And what was the outcome? Do you know?
Okay, so at the end, a Mongol, Anthony Barrera, 43, was stabbed to death. Two Hell's Angels, Jeremy Bell, 27, and Robert Tumulty, 50, were shot to death.
Right.
The first time you had multiple murders in a Nevada casino.
Now, do you also know about Christo that was killed on the road leaving Laughlin that night?
No, this part I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another Hell's Angel killed, unsolved.
What was interesting, though, I guess the Mongols were taking off their vests and stuffing them into garbage cans.
Well, I don't know.
Whereas they said all the Hell's Angels kept their patches on.
Well, I would hope that they would.
The police found 14 guns, 107 knives, 2 hammers, 2 wrenches, and 9 flashlights abandoned on the floor of the casino. That doesn't include the stuff that people took with them. This is what they found on the floor of the casino.
Look, this is the thing. You know what our position was. You know, we explained the story. David Chesnoff. I may have some of the details incorrect. I mean, this is over 20 years ago. But our position was, if the police officer hadn't gone and said, your brothers are surrounded at Harrah's, nobody would even went down there, because every year they stayed there. The 6 members from Frisco stayed there, however many there were there. The police officer, whether in good faith or whether trying to instigate, we don't know. We'll never know that. I don't think the officer is going to come forward and identify himself as an instigator, and I wouldn't expect him to.
Right. Well, at the end, 7 Hell's Angels and 7 Mongols were locked up.
For how long?
I don't think for very long.
No,
36 other people had their charges dismissed.
Yes.
And a guy named Frank Donahue was indicted after the incident.
But do you know why?
Capture for 6 years.
Do you know why they made a deal? Or did Jay explain that to you when they interviewed him? Because they didn't want to give up the Brady material, the discovery. They didn't want to give up the discovery because they were protecting other informants, I'm sure. And there was a lot of situations that were, they were controversial, Did the cops go outside the guidelines? Look, one of the positions that we argued was, why were all the Hells Angels bikes, the guns were left on the bikes? People didn't go there to try to engage. A couple of guys had guns on them. I don't know how many guns they confiscated from Hells Angels. Calvin had a gun. There was another guy they identified that had a gun. He got away. He came back after the whole case was resolved, like 3 years later, and said, "Oh, I heard you guys are looking for me." And nothing transpires. They didn't pick the case up. But is it the police officer's fault? I mean, we don't know. Everything's hypothetical.
Right.
If he hadn't have gone there, well, if Grandpa, wouldn't have had balls, he would have been Grandma.